If you know what the world was like before the invasion of Iraq, you know that it's not normal. And it's the bastardization of truth and justice and honesty and leadership.
And we've completely lost any moral high ground to talk about this. And that's part of the problem, that, you know, the media is whipping up such a frenzy over this. And then I remember just 2 years ago, I went on a 5-day hunger strike because of the Uyghur genocide in China.
I remember that.
And the purpose was to get 100,000 signatures on a petition, because there's a parliamentary petition. If you get 100,000 signatures on that petition, you force a debate in Parliament. Now, we got that 100,000 within 5 days, and then it went to Parliament, and then they voted unanimously on the fact that there was a genocide in China, but it was only a symbolic vote, which is why it got through. It would not have got through if it wasn't a symbolic vote. So you got these talking heads, like the Mayor of London and others, like certain politicians, warhawks, who are talking about the need to impose a no-fly zone over Ukraine, which would mean that we shoot down Russian jets, which is an act of war, right? So these idiots don't realize that you end up declaring war on Russia if you do that. Those same voices were not only quiet about the genocide in China, the Uyghur genocide, but resisted any effort to hold China accountable for it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we had the Olympics there, and we still sent our athletes over. And what were you mentioning earlier, Tim, with the Russians, that we were pulling their athletes, or can you refresh my
memory? So several organizations have banned Russian and Belarusian athletes from competing. Like Ironman did it, and there's a couple others, triathlons.
The spirit of the Olympics is that even if you're at war, you send your best athletes, you let them pass through your territory unhindered, and then they all compete, because it's the spirit of human competition is beyond warfare.
I just find it so out of touch. And then there are these calls. Look, again, I'm going to have to re-emphasize every time I say something on this topic, but again, Putin should not have gone into Ukraine, but he's not Hitler. And there are these people saying he's the new Hitler when you've got an active genocide going on in China. Right. And the worst part of this is, when you talk about Hitler and Nazism, in Ukraine in 2014, there was a change of regime that we in the West encouraged, the Maidan uprising that Putin would call a coup. Now, whatever word you want to use, there was regime change that we meaning our intelligence agencies, backed with full throttle, wholeheartedly. We backed that regime change because the government in Ukraine was pro-Russia. It pulled out of the affiliation with the EU, and we didn't like that. We wanted it to be pro-West. So we backed that regime change. Who did we bring to power? Nazis, actual Nazis.
You think Zelensky or
No, he's not a Nazi. He's Jewish. But you've got this thing called the Azov Brigade.
The battalion, right?
Azov Battalion. They are an armed Nazi battalion. Now, the word Nazi, the problem is it's been so overused today that nobody really believes the word Nazi or racist when it actually deserves to be used. But let's just be very clear. These guys they are swastika raising actual neo-Nazis. And I mean that in the literal sense of the word. And even the word literal is no longer literally.
It's true.
We got to bring the word figurative.
It's literally been changed to mean something else.
We talked about this with Lauren Southern as well.
It is unbelievable, right? Well, and they are formally incorporated into the Ukrainian National Guard. We funded them, by the way. When I say we funded them, actually sent them money. We trained them, we funded them. Canada, the US, and the UK were involved in backing this battalion. And then they were incorporated into the Ukrainian National Guard. And then once Putin attacked, the Ukrainian National Guard, from their official and formal and verified Twitter account, posted a video bragging that this was an Azov fighter dipping bullets in pig's lard, saying that he was going to go and find the Muslims.
It's like that urban legend, that apocryphal story. Are you familiar? There's an American general in the Middle East, killed a bunch of Islamic soldiers, and then but kept one alive, and put pig's blood on the corpses and said, "Go tell everyone what we did." But it's not. I believe that story's not true.
Yeah, I don't think. But this one is a video.
No, right.
And the thing is,
I'm saying it's probably he probably saw that meme story on the internet. And
maybe, but the thing is, let's put aside the emotional reaction that some people may have to that video, right, and consider it strategically. The mistake historically that Chamberlain made was to appease Nazism in Europe in the belief that they could be of use to defeat the Soviet Union. So we know how that ended. What you've got at the moment is you've got a Nazi battalion as formally incorporated into the Ukrainian army in their military, and neo-Nazis from around the world are now traveling there to train with them. They are armed and they are part of the Ukrainian armed forces. My question is, if they win, or if Ukraine is split to east and west and you've got the river in the middle, if Putin takes from the upper river, if Putin takes eastern Ukraine and the Ukrainian regime that's there currently keeps the western part, the Nazis that are serving in their National Guard, in their army, who are pretty much the most powerful faction in terms of grassroots mobilization. I mean, guys, there are videos of children's summer camps in Ukraine making Nazi salutes. There's Nazi summer camps. They've had mass rallies. These are actual proper organized Nazis with swastikas, with insignia and everything. Now, imagine in whichever part they end up maintaining, they are now the government. So you've got an actual Nazi government that we funded and backed.
Sounds a lot like ISIS.
Yeah, sounds like an easy target.
And why? How did Al Qaeda get created? The CIA were funding what they...
The Mujahideen.
That's right, to defeat the Soviets. Now, if it's not okay to...
They don't learn, do they?
No, it's the same thing over and over again.
It's intentional.
They did learn, and they
no,
used the same
Tim, here's the thing. They do study history. It's just that World War II is the only thing that ever happened in all of history. So anytime anything happens, we have to say, that guy is Hitler. And so, like you said, pointing to Putin and going, that guy's Hitler. I mean, I don't know. He's a tyrannical leader over Russia, and now he's imposing himself on Ukrainians. Is there anyone in history who that just sounds like a little bit more like... Besides Hitler?
Yeah. I mean, he's an illiberal autocrat is the word to describe.
Illiberal?
Illiberal autocrat, right? He's a dictator he's not really keen on elections, but he's not Hitler.